Hello Superset Maniacs and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Nick Walker at the 2021 New York Pro comparison. I think everyone enjoys these comparisons with the exception of Nick Walker himself, but anyway, let's put him against another legendary New York Pro physique, maybe the most notorious one, Markus Ruhl in 2002 when this show was called the Night of Champions. This being widely regarded as Ruhl's best shape of all time. Some people even claim this physique is one of the best of all time from any bodybuilder, but I don't know what to say about that. But let's see what Nick Walker has to say about that, and we begin our comparison with the front double biceps pose. Unfortunately, these pics for Markus Ruhl at this show are taken from bad angles. The photos have bad quality, but at least we have something. You won't see too many comparisons on YouTube with Ruhl at this show for the exact same reason, in spite of being one of the most requested physique comparisons. Markus has some of the craziest buys of all time, and he probably beats Nick at this department, who also has some great buys himself, but other than that, Nick kinda wins everything else, beginning with the midsection, continuing from the V-taper to the wheels. Nick is just much better. Markus has that freak factor, but we have to focus on other things here like symmetry and conditioning, where Nick Walker looks to be better. I apologize to the old school fans, but this pose goes to Nick. Up next is the front lat spread, and unfortunately Markus Ruhl is turned to the side here, but by the looks of it, we can really see now why Markus was such a popular bodybuilder. Just look at how massive he is. His midsection is protruding a bit here, but I have a feeling he would beat Nick in this pose if we had a better angle. I'm not gonna award this pose to any of them, it wouldn't be fair, so let's check out the next pose. The side chest, where we can really see the power of Ruhl. His chest looks twice as big than that of Nick Walker here. In my opinion, Markus Ruhl in this most muscular side chest leaves no chance to poor Nick. He's just too thick and massive for Nick. But Nick has all the time in the world to improve. Remember guys, he's only like 27. But for now, Markus Ruhl wins this pose. Up next is the back double biceps, and yet again we have a bad angle for Ruhl, but in spite of the angle, we can notice that Ruhl had a very impressive upper body in this pose at this show. The thickness, the details, and even the dryness, he looks drier than Nick upper body, but things take a wild turn when we look downstairs. Markus was always soft through the glutes, but we can assume that at least here at this show, this is because he was not focused on flexing them. So it's not because of bad conditioning. Nick has a better back from a genetics point of view, but his back needs more work to match Markus at this show in my opinion. In spite of the soft lower body, my point goes to Markus Ruhl in this pose. Next is the rear lat spread, and whoever thought Markus had a weak back, think again. He didn't have Ronnie's or Dorian's back, it's true, but he was good at this department in spite of the general opinion. So basically downstairs we have the same situation, and probably on a bodybuilding stage nowadays Markus would be penalized. But I'm taking into consideration the fact that at that time soft glutes were still acceptable, at least when Ronnie Coleman was not around to make the difference. Judging the upper body, Markus Ruhl is yet again on a level beyond Nick, at least in my opinion. That frame, those traps, that lower lat thickness are just too much for Nick at this point. Markus Ruhl gets this pose as well. But next pose is the side triceps, a pose where Nick Walker is just too good for Markus Ruhl to even think about it. Markus Ruhl's triceps were one of his weak points. He has a bad midsection and a bad execution here. Nick Walker, on the other hand, has a nice and thick triceps, a great midsection, and a greater execution. Nick Walker wins the side triceps. Abs and thighs, and this is 2002 Olympia for Ruhl. We don't have a good picture for him at the Night of Champions in this pose, but regardless of any show or moment in Ruhl's entire career, he would never beat Nick Walker in this pose. Nick Walker is just better at everything in this pose. Starting with the abs, continuing with the V-taper, the quads, the details, everything. Easy win for Nick Walker. Most muscular, and no offense to Nick Walker, but this is men versus boys right here. And this might not be too far from the truth considering Nick's age. Markus Ruhl looks like a monster, the ultimate mass monster. He looks like Goku in the hyperbolic time chamber, like an Ultra Super Saiyan. I apologize guys, I got too excited. Nick Walker really needs to step up his chest. He can't do anything about guys like Markus Ruhl in this pose, who had one of the freakiest chests of all time. Same goes for delts, biceps. He's also wide as a house and in good condition here. Markus Ruhl wins this pose. So in conclusion, Markus Ruhl won 4 poses. The ones that involve the chest the most, the side chest and the most muscular, and the back poses. As for Nick, he won the front double biceps, the side triceps and the abs and thighs, which means 3 poses, and we have 1 no contest pose in the front lat spread. I'm not sure who would win this pose. Nick has a better execution and a better midsection, but Markus doesn't look bad, from what we can see here of course. But anyway, regardless of who's winning this one overall, the winner in this comparison has to be Markus Ruhl. I think he dominated more in this comparison, and if it wasn't for his soft glutes, this one would have been a more obvious one. In this situation, I wouldn't be surprised if the judges would prefer Nick though. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel. Thank you and see you next time.